What strikes me about that image, and always has, we talked about this image when we were just going through a raw selection of photos actually, was the fact that, you know, it really, to me, speaks to someone who's emerging. You know, she's not sort of sure of herself in a way that, oh, you know, here's more cameras or some of that, don't bother me. She's very honest and real, and she's just kind of like, I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm in my moment. I think it's very much in the moment. So the fact that you met just hours before, I think you really did a good job of capturing that in the moment it was.
The thing that I loved the most about this and wrote about in the introduction was just that innocence, that we saw Amy on the cusp of these two people. So she was like Amy, the girl, and then Amy, the icon. And I think this is like that real in-between moment when things are about to like explode.
It was about 2 o'clock in the morning then. We'd had a couple of glasses of wine, and Amy just gave this look to the elevator boys as the lift doors were shutting. It just worked perfectly for this.
Throughout her whole career, she had like, you know, the Liechtenstein skirt, the vest, you can see like the beehive being introduced here in a way. It's not as large as it was later on, but she's got a slick of red lipstick, her eyeshadow. It's like really introducing Amy into the look that we would come to know her for.
We'd wanted to shoot it in Camden at her home, so it kept that sort of very personal feel, which is what we tried to do with the first roll of film in East London. And when I ended up being in New York, Amy still had a night free between recordings, so we ended up doing this thing which never worked out as it was supposed to, but we ended up with something much more interesting, I think, in the end. Is that I hadn't spent much time in New York, I suppose, so the New York kitsch elements that fall into it, like the taxi, the phone booth, they were, if I'd been an American, they probably wouldn't have stood out to me at all to even take a photograph of or have Amy involved with, but as someone who's an outsider, they work perfectly.
The album cover for Frank, the book cover for this, and now this photo, which according to you guys, people are responding maybe the most to, is all of a woman who's left us looking back at us. She's moved on. And even when she was around, and even before she had the big media blitz really occur, she was already looking back. She's escaped us in a way. I think, to me, that's really poignant.
In the moments where she's posing, that's when she looks most like the girl that's uncertain. It's when you catch her off guard, she looks like an icon. This, like,
yeah,
on the bathroom floor.
You know what I mean? You're like, wow, actually, she's almost like when she's looking at you, she's trying to like downplay it, and then you capture the glimpse of magic when she's off guard, and she's like doesn't realize.
Yeah.
And there is an element of melancholy about them, but I hope also people, you know, they can smile and enjoy them for what they are and the moment that they are and who she was. Because, I mean, she was an amazing individual and super talented.